see if the horn works. What the hell? I really hope that's a low voltage thing, because that is weird. What's up guys, welcome back to Car Studio, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you my newest vehicle purchase, and that is a Mercedes ML55 AMG. I actually bought this car a few days ago off a friend of mine, sight unseen, literally not even pictures. He's an older guy, he's old school, and I just took his word for it, and I had no idea what I was buying, but it was only $500. Now I haven't seen it yet. While I was at the auction this morning, it got delivered, and we're about to walk around front and take a look at it. First, I wanted to talk about high performance SUVs and kind of the evolution of them. So the ML55 AMG certainly wasn't the first performance SUV. However, it is considered the first modern performance SUV. They came out in the year 2000. When they came out, they put down some really good numbers for the time. Early 2000s, 347 horsepower, that was a lot. It also had 376 foot-pounds of torque, and this was made by the M113, which was a stroked out version of the 5.0 liter that was very common for the era. It was stroked to a 5.4 liter naturally aspirated V8, and even with those numbers, they were kind of bulky and heavy. Transmission probably wasn't the greatest in them. They only put down a 0 to 60 time of 6.8 seconds. Now, if you compare that to previous years, the early 90s, when the GMC Typhoon came out, they made 284 horsepower and over 300 foot-pounds of torque out of a 4.3 liter V6 turbocharged. That actually was the first performance SUV, and arguably the best bang for the buck. The 0 to 60 time of it was around 5 seconds, give or take. So, you know, 10 years later, and the ML is actually slower 0 to 60, but overall probably a better vehicle. So there's been a couple other SUVs between that time. Before the GMC Typhoon though, Lamborghini actually made the LM002 from 1986 to 1993. However, its numbers weren't that great either. It made 420 horsepower out of the V8 and 370 foot-pounds of torque, and 0 to 60 time was almost 8 seconds of that. It was just so big and bulky, just did not perform well. They also only made 328 of those in that time frame, so I guess that's why they're not considered the first performance SUV. So that goes to the GMC Typhoon. Ford, before the ML55 came out, almost made an SVT Ford Expedition. However, they decided against it. That would have been the first three-row performance SUV. Now this was over 20 years ago, so that would have been awesome to see something like that come out. But the performance SUV market was still new, just like the SUV market was, and I guess Ford just decided it wasn't time for that. Nowadays, it is not uncommon at all to see a performance SUV. My GL550 is out front. It's not, I don't know that it's considered a performance SUV. It's not an AMG package or anything like that, but it does have 425 horsepower and I think nearly 500 foot-pounds of torque out of a twin-turbo V8. And 0 to 60 time of it is 5 seconds, which is actually way faster than everything else that I just mentioned. GMC Typhoon might put up a good, you know, drag race against it, but the GL550 obviously is just knocks it out of the park in every other aspect. But yeah, without further ado, let's walk around front and see what I bought for $500. So let's go. All right, we're out front here, and I've actually accumulated quite a few Mercedes recently. Let me show you before we move on to the ML. So here is my GL, which I haven't really done any videos on it. I don't know if that's something you guys would want to see, maybe a review of it. There's plenty of videos on YouTube about it though, but that thing is awesome. It is super fast, super torquey. I've towed cars from South Carolina with it on car haulers, and it did amazing. And it literally pins you to the seat when you get on it. But that's just the family hauler, that's why it's so dirty. It's nothing special. I do have my dad's 300 TD right here. It's a 1985 model, and these are just absolute tanks. If this is something you guys would want to see a video on, a review, then you know, mention in the comments. I plan on doing a video on it soon. But these are interesting cars, and they have kind of rose up in popularity recently. But here is what I picked up today, and honestly I don't even know what year it is. But yeah, it's 500 bucks. I wasn't expecting too much. The biggest thing I was worried about was these bumpers being beat up, because he mentioned they were kind of rough, but this front one just got a crack, and then there's a couple spots on the rear bumper. These bumpers are notorious on these MLs for breaking apart. They're just plastic, and they just kind of broke instead of flexed. But it's got various spots of rust on it. Another common problem with these Mercedes, they like to rust out under these moldings. I don't think I've ever seen any rust out just in the middle of the door there. That's weird. Probably was a paint chip, got worse. Bottom of the doors have a little bit of rust too. It's nothing we can't fix. It does have the AMG wheels on it still. That's good, and the red calipers. I'm not sure what these are called. Let me know in the comments. They kind of resemble a monoblock. Obviously they're not though. The back is a little bit more rough. Another common area, they rust there in the bottom of the tailgate here. There's the cracks I was talking about in the bumper. I haven't even walked around this side yet. Little piece of the bumper missing there. It's not too bad. I was expecting worse. I mean, for $500, let's check out the inside. Not too awful bad. Seats aren't beat up. It's like the radio is missing. Look at that cluster. Wow. Rear's not too bad. Some spare parts in here. We have a key to it. I'm sure the battery is dead. It does run and drive. The only issue he told me this had was that it was stuck in limp mode. I don't think it would shift past second gear. And he said, from what he gathered, it needed a transfer case motor, which is also included in the vehicle. So I'm hoping I can replace that and, you know, get this thing driving. But we're getting ready to fire it up right now. I'm gonna get my jump pack and take it for a spin around the block and see what it does. But a $500 ML55 AMG that runs and drives, it's amazing. It's gotta be the cheapest ML55 in the world. I've been daily driving this car all week and just kind of working a couple bugs out of it, and it's really been a pleasure to drive. All right, let's pop the hood. Hood latch release works, that's a plus. Wow, the hood struts work. Got dash lights. Oh my gosh. 352,000 miles. Wow. I had no idea about that. Not that that matters. It's still a $500 SUV that runs and drives. Let's see if it'll start. Wow. So it's flashing that it's stuck in low range. Well, it was. So that's a good sign that it's just a transfer case motor. Wow, this thing runs really, really smooth actually. All right, surprisingly no check engine light. Try the window, wow. One window works. Two, no way all four work. Oh my gosh. This is already unbelievable for $500. Brakes work. Let's see what it does when you drive it. Oh, I don't feel like it has any power steering. So But yeah, it's not shifting. I'm assuming it's just taking off in second gear, and then, wow, this thing does pull pretty good. Something feels really funky in the steering. No gas at all. Probably need to turn around and go back. So that's it, guys, a $500 ML55 AMG. I'm honestly very impressed. It runs amazing. Just got to figure out why it doesn't shift gears. If we figure out why it doesn't shift gears and what's up with the steering, you know, this could be a really cool ride. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I really don't. I can't see me daily driving it. I really like my 5 Series, and I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Should I flip it? Should I fix it up and keep it as a spare vehicle? Should I lift it up and put some mud tires on it and beat it up in the woods? Really, the possibilities are endless. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for more on this project and all of the countless other ones that I have.